listening to the Los Rotos Podcast with Vanessa Scaduto.
Vanessa Scaduto.
Produced by Upside Down Creative Media.
Upside Down Creative Media.
What's up, guys? I want to welcome you, CJ Hightower.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy Black History Month.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Happy Black History Month. I like your hat too, dog.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're that's Eagles, right? Am I going to be wrong on that?
That's
okay.
Yeah, Mexican flag there.
I love it, dude. You sporting it all today.
Yeah.
How was your drive here? I know the weather's been crazy today.
Yeah, I actually had on a different outfit. I had on like shorts and the t-shirt, and then
I'm still wearing my shorts though.
and it started raining, so I said, man, it's got cold, so I switched.
Yeah, I think tomorrow's going to be in like the high 50s or something like that. I got a show outside.
Oh wow,
that's going to be fun on the beach. On the beach.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
At the Hampton Inn Tiki Bar tomorrow. It's a free show, guys. So
okay, I'll try to come out and support.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah,
sure.
It starts at 7. It's going to be Marcus Crespo, myself, Kyla Mai, and Tehran Barley, and then we have 2 special guests. We have Alex Fitzjohn and Elise Stewart.
Oh, that's gonna be good. That's a good lineup.
Yeah, it's a good lineup, and Sean Steele is hosting. So
oh, cool. Yeah,
so it's a big deal. But I'm not here to talk about myself.
I'm here to talk.
Cool. I'm here to talk about you, dog. I'm here to talk about you. I want the audience to get to know you a little bit because I know you've been in comedy for a while. But why don't you give us kind of like how you got into comedy, how long you've been in comedy?
Okay. Well, I'm from Atlanta, so I started doing comedy. Let me see here. I think about like 7 years ago. I was hitting open mics, but how I originally got into it was one day, me and a group of friends, we dared each other to go up, and then we went to this little spot in Atlanta, and the host was like, "Hey, y'all want to go up and do some time?" And then I was like, I don't know. And then my friend was like, "Come on, I dare you." So we ended up doing it. And it was like a blur. I can't even remember what I said. I didn't even I didn't have nothing written or anything. It was just spur of the moment. And then that's when my mind kind of clicked towards it. And I kind of liked the feeling that I got from even doing it. Even though I didn't get any laughs, it was just
really?
No, it was hardly nobody there. It was
okay.
So I was like, maybe I need to like do this
see what it's all about.
See what it's all about. And once I started, I just kept doing it.
Plus, Atlanta's a good city to start, I would assume, because you have all this access to comedy, like higher level comedy.
Yeah, the culture is there. Like I said, I did a lot of time at Uptown Comedy Corner,
right?
And it was you just don't never know who's gonna pop in there,
right?
So, I mean, from DC Curry to like some of the like internet sensations would just come in there and do shows, and you could just watch them and absorb all that energy and how they stage presence was, and actually seeing people that was successful in it. Then it made me like, okay, I need to try to just stick with it and see what happens,
Yeah, especially if this is what they're doing for a living. Like they can leave their 9 to 5 or whatever it is, or even have like maybe a side business, but it doesn't need to be making all the money. You could be traveling and you know what I mean, and traveling and doing all that. That must be interesting having started comedy in Atlanta. But how do you feel? Do you feel like it? Obviously, it's different than Jacksonville. We can say that. I mean, we don't have Laughing Skull or anything like that here. Doesn't mean we can't though. Doesn't mean we can't.
We're coming up.
I mean, we have a big city. Like land-wise, land-wise also just means we have more comics. You know what I mean? Because the city is so big, and I was telling somebody else, it's like over 60 comics. I think I started writing down like how many are in the city. And some can debate who they consider comics. Okay, y'all can debate amongst yourselves. I'm just saying, people who I've seen come to mics and go and be on shows, there's at least 60 of us.
Yeah.
And so now, depending on who's actually has a career out of it, that's a whole nother thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but if we were to have like a mainstay that's just a comedy club, it's not attached to a hotel or anything, and nothing's wrong with the Comedy Zone in itself.
Yeah.
I just think it's at it. at its peak, it probably was the best. You know it was for the city at the time. But I think we need another place now.
Yeah, we need more. I think as the years going by, it's from when I first came down here to where it at now. It have grown.
Yeah.
Tremendously.
Right.
For what I have seen, but like you said, eventually I think something's gonna happen. It's got to, right?
You think? Yeah, you think? We'll see.
We'll
right?
see. We'll see. Keep my fingers crossed.
I mean, the thing is, a lot of even touring like national comics, they won't come here until they're in theaters, you know, and they'll go to like Florida theater, or, you know, and there's times they do come here, but it's like. Sometimes they don't come back because they don't get the same show out that they would, you know, in let's say Fort Lauderdale or Orlando.
Yeah, I know. And
Tampa, St. Pete, even, you know.
Yeah, and Orlando's not too far, and it's like a whole different culture of.
Literally, though, it is.
If you come there, you're gonna sell out. You probably do about 2 or 3 shows if you're a big name, but here, like I don't know,
It's hit or miss, I feel like.
Is it because Jacksonville's so spread it out?
That's what I do have a theory that it has to deal with that as well, because we don't, I mean, downtown is technically centrally located, but who's downtown? Yeah. Now, like, who is hanging out there? Unfortunately, so is the jail. Yeah. So is the fact that they keep pushing homeless people out of locations instead of working on housing, causing people not to want to be hanging out downtown at night.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
So I mean, I think there's a multitude of factors. What the one solution is, I have no idea. I have no idea, dog, because that will go into healthcare and I'll be like, we need to get mental health care. We need to get housing. I think if we covered those 2 factors, there would be a big difference in a lot of things. Yeah. Because healthcare would cover addiction problems, you know, that causes thefts, you know, robberies, who knows, you know, things that are happening that probably wouldn't happen if they had things, you know, like, I don't know.
And the Margaritaville here, and they don't do comedy.
There's a Margaritaville? Where's that? I didn't even know.
The beaches.
Oh.
Yeah.
But there really is a Margaritaville?
There's a Margaritaville.
Oh, that's right. That is where.
But all the other ones do stand-up.
Interesting. Yeah. I wonder why they don't do that.
I don't know. Maybe we got to go talk to them, but.
It's true. Actually, dog, I mean, me being half Latin and legal.
Like, but if you look at the other ones, they have a comedy night, and, you know.
I never thought about that, actually. No. I guess because, like, who's going to Margaritaville here in Jacksonville?
See, that's the thing. Like, I think they're going, but
I'm not trying to hate on Jacksonville, guys, by the way. I don't want to, because I do have a love-hate for the city, because I do love it and I do see the potential in it. Yeah. But I hate that some people are not wrong with their criticisms. You know what I mean? Yeah. There is some weird thing about this. It's I call it like I used to call 5 Points the Bermuda Triangle of Jacksonville. You know, because it kind of was weird, but now I don't even know now what I mean. It's like maybe it's the all of Jacksonville, the whole. Like you got Orange Park, then downtown, and then I was about to say San Marco, but I meant San Jose area, Mandarin. That's the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, it's different. It took me a minute to adjust. Mm-hmm. I mean, now don't get me wrong.
Well, how many years you been here now?
Now, let me see here. Full time, I would say about 4 years.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. That's what I thought.
I used to travel here 6 months and go to Atlanta back and forth.
Right.
So yeah, about 4 years just being here full time, and you know, going downtown. I'm not used to the city, like just not seeing nobody sometimes. You know, I'm not.
Or the people you see and you don't really want to see.
But I'm used to like you're down. If you in the city, everybody's just walking. Everybody's and it's not like that. Mm-hmm. So you know, it's almost like
it feels more dangerous, like when it's empty.
Yeah, you remember that movie, Quiet Place?
Yeah, that's right.
Like it's something about to happen, and you know, I don't know.
Even during the day when it's quiet,
the day it's real quiet.
Yeah, a day I'm like, y'all should be out now. Like, what is that? Like, this should be going on. That's how I felt about San Francisco when I went back to visit it, and I had moved to the East Bay, but I was like driving through where my friend used to live, which was off of Haight Street, which is has historical parts in like, you know, the old 60s and stuff. And he lived there in early 2000s, and that thing was hustling, bustling, all different types of people, you know, selling oranges on the corner to buses moving and going. Cops just chilling, standing around the, you know, like New York City almost. Now it was dead, and there were signs for all of those places were like Airbnbs. I was like, what? So these are all vacant, dog? Like weird.
There's a lot of vacant stuff.
It was very sad though, because like his apartment, we loved that place. It was, I mean, also the fact that you could have 3 college guys living in the heart of San Francisco in early 2007, and you maybe were paying $2,000 a month,
Jeez,
you know, for a 3-bedroom, a 3-2, I think they had, which was big time.
Yeah.
You know, big time, even as a college student, you know, like, but even then that was kind of expensive, I think I remember thinking. But if you now, that apartment is like $6,000-$7,000, you know.
Can you believe that? It's crazy.
Well, one girl, when I was meeting people and I was looking for places to live because I was living with my friends, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you got to get rent control." I've been in my apartment for 3 years, and I go, "Well, how much are you paying?" This is 2017, guys. She goes, "Oh, I only pay $4,500," and I was like,
$4,500.
and I was like, "Wait, how big is your apartment?" And she's like, "Oh, it's a studio, but I kind of built out walls to make." And I was like,
"Wow."
And you're happy about that? Cool. And I was like, "What are we doing here?" What are we doing? I was like, "I know I'm worried about paying my car payment. That's $500.
$4,500. That's up there."
What?
Yeah.
I heard San Diego was even higher than that.
I mean, probably. They probably have more land though. You know what I mean? They probably have more spread out versus tall. Like San Francisco is more like, even Oakland. Like I was lucky. I lived in the heart of Oakland, so I lived in like a semi good area in the sense of like Oakland is still Oakland.
Yeah.
There's crime. I felt like when I went there and the people who live there were trying to warn me. I was like, yo, I grew up in New York City in the 80s. Like, yeah, this is the same vibe. I get it. Like, just be cautious, be smart. You know, you're during the day, but still be aware. Same old in any city. I was like, so what you're telling me is like it hasn't been gentrified? I appreciate you.
Oh, wow. So in Oakland, was it like how it is in the movies, the set tripping and all that stuff, the gangs and all?
No, I mean in certain areas, like any town, any city. I mean, like even Jacksonville, we know we know Moncrief. Is that like you could drive down Moncrief, but just be aware you may get caught up in something you weren't trying to get caught up in.
Yeah. But what about the color code thing and all that? Is that the thing?
You know what? I never thought about that. Yeah, there is color coding there for sure, because there's the Crips and the Bloods for sure.
So you just wear a lot of neutral colors.
I think I'm just not even thinking about it, because is Oakland. So here's the thing about Oakland. Oakland is also very artistic. There's a lot of arts in Oakland, you know, culturally. And so I don't think it was as serious. I think it's if you're in one solid color, you're saying it's something. I think if you're just walking around, you're fine. But if you're in one solid color, because that's how I realize like gangbangers in California are. There's like in solid colors.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they're the Crips, they're wearing all blue.
Oh, they all okay.
All blue. Like their jacket, their pants, everything. Yeah. Everything's blue. Their bandana, everything's blue. Bloods, everything's red. You know what I'm saying? Now. But that goes to say, though, I'm sure if they recognize you ain't from their block and you walk down their block and you're wearing one off color, they may say something to you.
Yeah. You just got to, you know where you're at all times.
Yeah, because in Miami, when I was growing up in Miami, it was the same way with like the Latin Kings and stuff. Like sometimes you didn't know who was what.
Yeah. And
like I was set up, dog.
What?
Yeah, I was in middle school. They set me up, dog. These other kids who were trying to get into the Latin Kings or whatever. And one was like, he was in high school, though. He was like 17.
Mm-hmm.
And then these other kids probably were like 15. But I was like 13-year-old girl, like, and I knew them from the neighborhood, but I didn't realize they were trying to join gangs or something, you know? And there was a bike that was like laid out on the sidewalk. It was weird. It was like in an area. And I was like, well, maybe one of the kids accidentally left it here. I was like, or maybe somebody stole it. So I'm just going to take it. So I
You took the bike. Oh, no.
I took the bike into the neighborhood because it was like hidden behind it or whatever. But it turns out they were watching from the apartment to see who would take the bike. I went on a joyride though, but if something was wrong with the chain was messed up.
Okay.
So I was like, maybe I can fix it too. Like maybe I'll fix the chain. So I brought it to a friend's house to see if we could fix the chain. We didn't have the tool to fix the chain. So when I came back into my neighborhood, they were all waiting for me. Like, so one was waiting, pulled up. Dude, I swear to God, it was like a movie, dog. Like, one pulls up in his bike. And mind you, these are like BMX bikes. So they had pegs. Like, they were all decked out. This is 90s, dog. So everybody's decked out on their bikes, dog. Like, and then I didn't know that guy. But then all of a sudden I see the older kid. I knew him. So I said, "Oh, what's up, so and so?" And then that kid didn't realize it was me because they had said they caught somebody, so they told him to come. So then when he saw it was me, I saw him do this, like fuck, like it's her because I'm friendly with him.
He know you, okay?
Also, he's an older man. Technically, now that I think about it, he's 17. He probably realized I'm a 13-year-old girl. Like, what am I to these kids, really? Also, I'm a girl. Yeah, I think he's like, dude, this is not what we meant. No. When I said jump somebody, I didn't mean a 13-year-old girl, dog. So anyway, these kids are getting in my face, and I'm like, listen, I thought it was thrown away because I did, because I was like, I realized that they're like, ride it around. I go, no, the chain's broken. I know you set me up, dog. Like, and they're like, she's cool. He got in between them because they were getting in my face.
Oh, wow. They was ready. Huh?
Yeah, but I wasn't backing down either, though. I was ready too, dog. I learned from New York City and Miami because of how white I look. Like, I was like, oh, I'm about to get beat up everywhere. Because I was just... everybody's about to take out their anger, their ancestral anger out on my one.
So you lived in all the like major cities. You lived in New York, Miami.
That's why I act weird the way I do, dog. Because like,
you like military brat or something?
No, just a child of divorce, bro.
Oh, shit.
Also, my dad's white, so he stayed in Brooklyn for a while.
Okay.
And then my mom, because most of my family, they lived either in Queens or Miami. Mm-hmm. So most of them were moving to the warm weather. They realized New York was a bad call. So they're like, we're going to Miami where it's sunny most of the time, where our people are thriving. So they moved to Miami. And then you have my white ass just show up. And my sister and brother are brown. Yeah. So they could pass. And so... yeah, I got picked on a lot. Like, or people would talk shit in school. They didn't know I knew Spanish, so they talk shit, and then I was from, like, oh,
Yeah, bullying is something else, man. Like, I think it's the reason why I had like stomach issues. Because I mean, seriously, like,
what do you mean?
like I know you. Yeah, I'm saying like a nervous stomach.
Oh, anxiety.
Yeah. So because I know I'm about to fight.
Yeah.
At 2:30 when we get out of school, because dudes is over like can't wait to fight you at like 2:30, And
it's true. We did have that 2:30
in the lunchroom, like, I gotta fight, and you get, before you fight, adrenaline, everything.
I would get bubble guts too. Yeah.
And sometimes I didn't want to fight. I just wanted to go home. So it was that and the trauma. And then if I wasn't fighting, I had my friends was fighting, and it was just always something going on.
It's funny though, because I didn't want to fight people, but I would fight you if I had to.
You had to. You got to stand up.
Yeah, because that's the thing. They would walk all over you after if you didn't.
Everybody's watching.
And I remember though, it was the women though. I'd like guilt them into fighting one-on-one instead of being jumped, because I was like, oh, so you're that big of a pussy? You need 5 bitches to jump me? You can't do it one-on-one? And then I'd like reverse psychology, like get them to be like, all right, well, I'll meet you. And I'm like, all right, I'll be there. I'd still have my crew and myself show up, because their crew, I was like, maybe they will show up. Nobody shows up. Yeah. And I was like, oh. And then it turns out like my crew, I didn't know, because when I moved to different schools, I was picked on a lot because I was the new kid. And then I had to like show that I could beat ass too.
Exactly.
Like,
you got to.
Yeah, it sucks.
But see, once I got to, we ended up moving. So I ended up moving from one part of Atlanta to another part of Atlanta. And guess what? I had one of my crazy cousins that we went to school together. Right. So then from that point on, we just jumped everybody. So nobody would mess with him and nobody mess with me, because they know you're gonna have to fight both of us. So that helped me.
Yeah. Well, my sister had me. Oh, Tic Tac.
Yeah, because you're gonna fight Tick, you gotta fight Tac. So
that's so funny though, dog. I didn't have that though, because my sister was 16 months younger than me, but she didn't grow until I would say she was like almost 17. Like she didn't sprout up or anything. Okay. And now she's an inch taller than me, but she was tiny. So, but my sister's always had a mouth on her, where she just doesn't put up with anybody's bullshit. And there's times for it and there's times not for it. But in high school, she always had time for it. And like,
so she's a younger sister?
She's only 16 months. So we were always in, we don't, what's up, Cross?
What's up, Cross?
Overwhelming the force. That's right.
That's right.
But it was funny. I found out later, and I would beat up bullies too. I didn't like bullies, because I was always friends with everybody. That's what I think people from high school will say this. Like, I would have friends who were popular, but I'd also be with friends who weren't, because I just didn't care. I wasn't looking for clout. Exactly. I don't give a fuck.
So if you beat up bullies, you're more like a superhero at the school. Then.
Sometimes, but not really. It's only when two girls, like my friend Nasa, R.I.P., she was pregnant early at 16, and these two cheerleaders were trying to call her a whore. Yeah. So I grabbed them both by the throats at the same time in the middle of the comments. And I was like, you want to talk shit now to somebody who can fight you? And I was going to beat both their asses.
You was going to beat both of them?
Yeah, and everybody was going, Scaduto.
Oh, my goodness. You didn't play around.
No, I didn't. And it's so funny because I'm friends still with some of these homies. I hope they see this and they comment. They're like, that's right, Vanessa could throw it out. But, and so what happened was, we had a commons, and the school was built in the 60s. So it was built so if an atomic bomb came, it would go around the school. So it was a circle. So like it was big. Everybody started crowding around. And then I feel a tap on my shoulder. So I turn and look, and it's our principal, Miss Rolson, one of our principals. And she goes, Vanessa, you don't want to do that. And I go, she goes, come with me. Come on, girls. And I go, only for you, Miss Rolson, because she was cool as shit. She let me leave school and come back, never gave me, because she knew I would be back. Also, I was in gifted classes.
Yeah. So you didn't even get in trouble?
No, I got in trouble. Okay. I got detention or whatever because I put hands on these girls. But now
detention, that's nothing. You would have got suspended.
Because I was technically an honor roll student. I was also in the gifted program, and the coach of the cheerleaders, she was my gifted science teacher or whatever. And she pulled me aside and she's like, I heard what you did to my girls. And I go, yeah, and your girls were talking shit. So maybe you should talk to them about how they shouldn't judge somebody based off of stuff they don't know about. Yeah. Also, Nasa was with the father and they had another daughter after. Like, fuck them, and I hope those girls see this and you could still sit on it, you dumb cuts. But even then, I was just the type of person who was like, don't talk shit. Yeah. Unless don't talk shit unless you're going to be some shit. You know what I mean?
Did you get in trouble? When you get home for some of that?
My dad knew.
It was cool?
My dad's from Brooklyn, dog. He grew up.
He's probably like, yeah, you should have.
He grew up fighting cops physically. But back in the day, the cops were like the cops of the neighborhood. Like they lived in the neighborhood. So sometimes the cops would fist fight you just to get it out. They wouldn't bring you to jail. They'd be like, all right, let's go then. And they would take their gun off and they would fist fight.
They would fist fight?
Yeah, that's New York, dog. That's how back in the because they were like a fight back then was just. We're going to let it out and just be done with it. You get your ass beat, you get your ass beat.
Nobody went grabbing guns.
Yeah, no guns were really grabbed like that. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. There's street fights where people would grab shit. I mean, in the 90s, there's been...
Statute of limitations.
There's a couple of times. There was one time I called the cops because it got out of hand. People were grabbing crowbars and I was like, oh no, somebody's about to die. This ain't no normal fight no more. Yeah.
That's going to feel different than a fist for sure.
I was like, somebody about to die in this motherfucker. Yeah. Dog. And anyway, but yeah, so those kind of things, I would just, actually another situation with not Nasa, but Nasa's brother, Savi. Savi, what's up, dog? We're still always but they were all in my car and we were coming back from getting Burger King, and we weren't supposed to leave the school, but again, I was allowed because they knew I'd come back. I was just going to get food. It was just in between periods. Yeah. But some girl, not a high schooler, cuts me off. She's in a truck. She's ranting and raving. So I said, follow me. So I let her follow me to the high school, dog. And my friend, R.I.P., she's passed away too. My friend Crystal Walker was in the back. And I love this girl with all my heart. And she wouldn't get out because she knew the girl. She's like, that's so-and-so's sister. I won't say names because I don't know if these people are alive or not, the ones who I'm talking about. And I was like, what? That's somebody. And then I realized she had a kid in the back with her.
What?
Oh, yeah. So the principal started coming because I'm yelling. because I'm like, get out of the car. She ain't gonna do shit. Like
Hold
I
on,
was telling
hold
my
on.
friends to
So
get out of the car.
She's following you.
She's following teenagers,
Road
yelling
rage,
at
and got a kid in the
and
back.
a kid in the
seat.
back.
Okay, this is crazy.
This is the 90s, dog.
Wow.
And this is, so I was like, and so me and Savi are out because me and Savi are, we're Latin. Originally, I think they're from New York too. So and they're Puerto Rican. So we just went off on her. I was like, what kind of mother are you? Like, we're 17, 16 years old. And we're like, just like, what kind of mother are you, dog? Like, you have a kid in the back. Oh, you're going to fight me? You're going to fight a high schooler? Go ahead, fight a high schooler. The principal comes out again, Miss Rulson, with another assistant principal, and she's like,
She's like, you again? Uh-oh.
Well, she knows I don't fight for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't fight because I'm like starting shit.
Yeah.
I fight if there is shit.
Right.
Like if there's shit that needs to be settled.
I got you.
So anyway, that girl ended up, now they would have arrested that girl. She would have gotten
trespassing.
They just told her to leave.
Yeah.
And
she
nothing happened.
To jail.
Like DCF should have been called.
Yeah,
Like, what are we doing? And
all
all we see is this little kid in the back, like, it was crazy. Plus there was 4 of us in the car.
Whoa.
And two young boys, which they weren't going to do nothing, but they knew I could.
Yeah.
And then Crystal, I knew she could fight, but she knew the boy. It turns out we went to school with her brother.
Oh, really?
So then I had to deal with the brother, but me and him were cool. He goes, "No, my sister's crazy, dog." I think that's when meth started hitting, and that's what she was starting to take meth.
Oh, the meth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't care. I'll punch a meth in their face any day, dog.
Yeah, the
back
mind
then,
is gone with the meth. Man.
Yeah, back then that was like the new thing on the block.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had to be like 97, 98.
Yeah. Anybody that's on that, everybody have issues, but the meth is just, bro.
It just changes you.
It destroys you.
Yeah, it
it's
changes
got
your
adrenaline
brain.
in it.
Yeah. Well, they were doing crank before meth, which is just another derivative of crack, and it's also chemically done in a bathtub.
Oh my god,
it's wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the west coast of Florida for you. With back then they didn't even, some of those roads were not even paved, and I moved from Miami to there, and I was like, I'm about to kill all y'all. Like just because they were just like, but the thing is I learned to respect country people because like the thing about, they have their own set of rules. Yeah. There's it is very similar though to New York rules in the sense of like old school mafia rules, like your word is your honor. Yeah. And like, your loyalty. Like there are these commonalities that I learned to respect about people because I had a misconception. Yeah. Of being in cities, And now I have friends who are very country of like acres of land. I call their places like compounds. I was like, how's the compound doing, dog? Yeah. But I know where I'm going if there's an issue.
Yeah, you know where to go if this is the grid.
I was like, they got rifle ranges. I know they got some ammunition somewhere.
Yeah. They got chickens out there. They
got everything, dude.
Yeah.
And we could at least
Water
survive.
well.
Yeah, they got everything. That's what I'm saying, dog. Yeah. I have a friend. I know he has aquaponics things going on. Like he has it built. So if something happens, he could just start growing wheat and whatever else in it.
Because anything can happen now, man. Like they keep talking about
That's
this
what I'm saying.
EMP
Don't make
system.
fun of these preppers because you're gonna need one in your life one day.
Yeah, anything can happen now.
Anything
it's so
can happen.
Weird, right?
It is. I mean, a lot of like you hear. There's I didn't send it to Marshall, but CERN supposedly is causing possible issues with our time continuum, like our. Which is interesting, and I guess things are coming in and out of CERN, like
the portal people,
the portals. Yeah,
I've been reading about them. Since they turned that thing on, it's been a little weird around here.
Well, I want to get into this because it's a part of my podcast where I do ask you about this stuff, but I don't want to miss anything. I want to start doing a halfway point where I want people. I tell them your where they could follow you if there's anything coming up or anything that halfway through, not just at the end. So that way, and then we'll get into this because I want to talk about this.
Okay, I got you. Well, I'm on all platforms. I had a video that hit like 500,000 on TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was roasting Kenny the Jet Smith.
Okay.
So I'm CJ the Dun 404 or CJ 100. On TikTok, CJ100 across on Instagram, and let me see what else I'm on. I'm on Facebook, but I'm just CJ Hightower on there. Yeah. So yeah, you can check out my videos on TikTok, and I'm doing some comedy shows coming up next month in Jacksonville. So I'll be posting them on my page.
Okay.
Some ready to do that or whatever. And I'm gonna be going to Canada to do a comedy festival.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
Which
but
one?
that's in October. This is the Canadian Fun Festival.
Oh, okay.
So
have you done it before?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is it like legitimate applications where, you know what I mean? Some of them put you through the rigmarole to like.
Well, I actually knew somebody.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
So
even better then.
So yeah, they hooked me up.
Okay,
so
good.
all I did was he just told me what to do, and then I just done it. Because some of them is just like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say, but I seen some.
You're right. That's
like
what I'm
money
saying.
grabs.
Yes.
And I'm like, so you got to be careful with that stuff.
Right. Where they say apply, but you never ever get.
Yeah, you pay $50.
Yeah.
They just take your money.
Pocket it. Yeah. How
so
do you even know they reviewed your video or anything?
You don't never know.
And they could have already had a set list ready to go who they know, because we know comics.
Yeah.
We know how they roll.
It is.
Hey, we're not saying we're against the favoritism, especially when it's geared towards us. We're just aware it happens.
I try to check the footages and try to at least know somebody that have done it before I even.
Yeah.
Because you just don't want to just be. Because they got so many, you would just be paying all this money.
And I think that happens to a lot of younger comics too. I mean, I haven't done it because some of the ones I've seen have been kind of like sketchy to me in the sense of like, well, who's seeing this? Who's promoting it? Also, like, how come I haven't heard of it? Like, how come is it new? That's okay if it's new. Like, what does that involve?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I
you gotta do your research, because I had a friend, but he's a rapper, right? And somebody told him, hey, you pay $350, you get to open up for a known rapper. Yeah. And
what a scam, dog.
Yeah. And he had like, he told me, but I couldn't make it. This is in Atlanta at the time, but he had like 10 people and was ready to go, and he paid the money. And when he got to the door, because the concert was really legit.
Right.
It was just that you're not getting in because it was a scam.
Right. So
when they got to the door and he gave the security the password, they like, dude, that's not happening. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So somebody ripped him off.
Yeah. So you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, and they're eating up your dreams. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's a sting.
Yeah, that's a big sting, especially when you're like, I got this and I got that, and then he's out $350.
Yeah.
And then who knows what outfit he bought for that event? What, you know what I'm saying? Oh man.
If somebody had hit me up on Twitter one time, and I'm not gonna say the name, but it was a legit stand-up comedian, and it had the check by the name and all that, and they was like, hey, you want to get on this particular show? I'm not gonna say the show. And he was just like, hey, you got to pay this. And then I'm just like,
why would I pay?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, even though it was his legit page, I think that he'll find people that's comedians and just do that and just get that quick money. And he's not even over the show where he had that power to do that.
Yeah. That's the thing is, how much did you have to pay? What did he tell you?
Yeah, he was saying you pay was it like $275, and he could get me on this improv show. I think I still got the text in my phone.
That's wild. Well, you got to be careful with Twitter though. Now anybody can get that blue check though. Like they were saying you can pay for it or something. I think he changed it because of that, because people were like doing fake accounts.
Pretty much all platforms are allowed.
It could have been fake. Yeah. It looked real though. But me, I'm trying to make money in the industry. I'm not just trying to
give out money. What are we doing here?
I mean, I'll show it to you once we get off there. Yeah.
That brings me to another question though about when you started, because I hear two different things now.
Mm-hmm.
When you first started, did people tell you to ask people to be on shows, or did you just go by the I hope I'm doing well enough that people will start booking me kind of thing? Or
when I first started, I was just hitting mics.
Yeah.
Right. And then somebody, Atlanta is a lot. You never know who's watching. So people after the show would like a certain part of my set, and they'd be like, "Hey, you need to come here and do this," and I want you to do this. I want you to do that. So I think like for me, even when I went out to Las Vegas, and I was hitting mics out there because they had a little Facebook forum. So I was like, I'm gonna be in Las Vegas. I might as well just hit some mics.
Right.
And it was a couple opportunities that came up, but I didn't have enough time to do it.
Right, because you were gonna be gone by the time.
I was gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Because this one guy, he was like, hey, I like your set. Come to the this comedy club in LA. He was like, ha comedy club.
Yeah, the ha.
And he was like, hey, I can get you some 15-minute sets. And
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting it, right? So,
right.
And I had to go back, so I didn't end up going. But it's like that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's like, I think it's so smart. Like Flo, she's been traveling, doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
But it gets your name outside of the group that always sees you,
Mm-hmm.
who's, honestly, I hate to say, but I don't think we appreciate each other as much because we're so used to seeing each other.
It's like in-laws.
Yeah, but at the moment a new comic shows up, everybody's like on their dick, and it's like, we don't even know if they could do 15 minutes. You know, they did 5, great, but like we don't know, right?
It's like seeing your relatives over and over, living in them in the house. After a while, it just started to irritate you a little bit.
Well, the thing is, I realized too, because when I first started, you know, I didn't take it as seriously, you know, but my jokes did get better. But I think what happened is they're my friends now, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just got used to me. They don't even watch my sets sometimes. So, you know, but I'll hear the audience will come up to me and be like, that was so funny.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what's that then, dog? Like, you're not booking, but like, what is that? And they're like, I'm sorry, I didn't watch it again. And I was like, well, then watch, dog. Just watch it, you know?
Yeah.
But I grew up. The comedy, in my mind, I was told, you wait to be asked. You know, you don't ask. But now I'm being told by other people, no, you should just be asking people. And the newer comics, they always ask.
Yeah.
Which sometimes can be annoying, you're right, you know, because they don't, you know, they're hungry, but they don't realize that there's some kind of boundary you have to set. Like, it's the way you do it, I think.
Yeah.
It's the way you go about it. And then some are too pushy. And then there's the ones like myself who never bothered to ask anybody. You know, people just ask me. And I have a couple of friends who are newer comics, I would say, like maybe a couple of years in, who are like talking to me about that. And I go, listen, man, I don't know what the right advice is. You know what I mean? Because like, I now wonder if I should have asked sooner. I go, but you're liked. And I hate to say it, but he's a guy, you know, guys do get booked easier. And I was like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't really hurt. It's about, I think, your approach. So if you just go, hey, you know, I don't know if you'd be interested, but I would love an opportunity if you ever think about it, you know, putting me on a show. Maybe something in those lines I think would be more appropriate than being like, I'd love to be on your show. I would think if you just give them the openness to go, you probably never thought of me. Like, just don't assume like you're, I guess that's what it is. Like, don't come across arrogant. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And Jacksonville, I feel like, compared to Atlanta, doing comedy down here, it builds you up. It makes you tougher because, you know, you may go somewhere and it's rough, right?
Yes.
Sometimes. And then when you finally get in front of a crowd that's coming for comedy and you do that same jokes and you get the feedback like, oh, wow. And you're not used to getting that down here. It makes you like, it turns you into an army tank.
This is why I tell people, because they're like, so where do you love doing comedy? I'm like, Georgia, Texas, like anywhere but from Jacksonville. Only because like you murder out there and you realize how good your chops are when you're in front of a crowd outside of the city. Because like I went to Austin, I was telling, and then like, and I fucking killed, you know, and I felt so great about it. I had brought people to, only because that I was there for my spiritual group thing. And I didn't go there for comedy, but I was like, I'm here. I need to at least do a mic. I cannot come to Austin and not do a mic. So I went, and the mic I specifically went to, my buddy Dylan Jarborough was the one who was like, just go to this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there. And then I ran in another Florida comic there. And I will say we murdered. Okay. Like we were great. And I was like, Florida in the house, dog. Like, but the other comics who are from all over, who knows what country or what state of part of the country, not so good. And doing very hacky right-wing stuff, like where I'm like, oh, this is what they mean by those comics. Like you don't like you're trying to do a caricature instead of just being yourself, which is weird. And there were some there were a couple other good comics who weren't from Texas who were there. One was hosting. Joe. God, I think his name's Gallo, the last name.
Mm-hmm.
If I get this wrong, I'm sorry, Joe. But he was a really cool guy, and he had just moved to Austin. So I was like, and then some other guy. He had a Jesselnick kind of vibe to him. That was the only problem, though. I was like, oh, he has to make this more his because it's very Jesselnick in a way. But besides that, there was 40 other comics, literally. And
wow, that's a lot.
It was a lot, and it was outside and cold. And the thing is, too, I was the only female comic.
What?
The only one. So that mic, I didn't finish what I was saying, but that mic, they allow the women to sign up first because it's male dominated. I guess in Austin, you know, when it comes to comedy, which is any mic really for the most part, you know. But I was the only first female sign up, so I took spot 6. I didn't want to take from the guys who probably come every Thursday there, you know, to do it. Spot. Yeah, I think 6 is fine too. Plus, I was trying to be nice and keep my friends there long enough to watch their sets. Yeah, because I understand you want a crowd, you know.
I don't understand. I'm like you. I don't understand how to make it in comedy. Because I have seen dudes that crush right everywhere they go, and they're limited to what rooms they can go to and what level they go to with the comedy, but they're crazy funny. And then I seen
people that aren't that funny go so far.
Yeah. I don't really like to say some person
not that they're
funny.
not funny. They're just not my cup of tea, I guess. I was what it is.
Well, just probably not been doing it as long, but they had something maybe online or something that just took off that people really loved, as far as maybe more like an internet type comedy. But then now they get everything. Yeah. So it's with that being said, I'm saying it's
there's no one way.
No.
There's no one way.
No one way.
That's why I was saying that, because I was like that when my buddy was talking to me about I don't know if I was like, dude, just do it, because if you don't, somebody else will now, you know. And that's just me knowing how it is now. And I'm also not asking yet because I'm not in a place right now in my personal life, is what I'm trying to explain to people, because there's been a few shows that I've been hey, I wanted to book you on the show, but you didn't give me that availability. And I was like, yeah, but I got a lot of other stuff going on right now that I want to be my best when I perform at a show. I don't want to feel like tomorrow, I felt so honored to be asked to be on this show. And I honestly wasn't going to take any shows for February, but it's one of my buddies' first time doing trying to start a room or get a showcase going. And I felt honored that I was asked. Cool. So of course I want to be there and support and, you know, help film the thing and do, you know, help promote it and all that stuff. So that way, and this person just started comedy too. So it's and they're good. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things, they're just naturally good at it. It's, and all I can see is progression. I don't see any, so it's and I'm just one of those people, I will always support you. You know, there's not something that I won't, unless you give me a reason not to anymore. And then I'm like, dude, I was literally always going to be supportive, but you just ruined all that. That sucks. That really sucks. Also, when you realize people don't give it really back to you as much, I noticed. But I'm not trying to live my life like that. I'm trying to live it in, yesterday I heard the quote, what you perceive persists. And I was like, that's right. So if we focus on the lack, then lack will persist. But if I focus on the positive, I have had friends who are promoting, I was saying to Marshall just before we started, it was awesome that my buddy Zach Malcolm shared a clip of me and Will Blaylock. I don't even care if you have X amount of followers. The fact that you're even watching, sharing, liking, have comments to say about it, please do it. You know, that means this is for nothing, not for nothing. You know what I mean? But let's get back to CERN, dog. I want to. CERN. No, this is the half of the podcast where I ask comics, do you believe in the paranormal or cryptids or aliens or anything like that? And we already started talking about CERN and the possible portal people. Do you know more about that? Do you know, have you looked into it? Can you tell me? Because I haven't looked into it yet. That's why I didn't want to share it yet.
With CERN?
Yeah, with the portal. Yeah, the CERN and the portal
and
people.
The collider. Oh man, it's so much. It's real so much. But yeah, I've been checking them out and seeing what they was doing, and of course,
Well, what are your thoughts on it? You don't have to give me like the scientific background of it. Like, what have you heard and what are your thoughts? You can give me a synopsis.
I think what they're doing, it could be potentially dangerous, because anytime if you create dark matter and you open up portals, then that's out of the normal. That's out of the which was natural. Right. So anything that you're altering, which is not natural, it could always have a domino effect of a negative.
100%. Yeah.
So,
well, we know every action isn't equal, or whatever thing that whole saying is we learned in first or second grade. What is it?
Each action is now I'm
equal and similar reaction or something like that.
Yeah.
So with them doing that, and they saying that they're communicating with these outside entities, if the entities could be way more advanced than us, it could be.
Of course they are.
They can come through. It's just that type of thing. So I think CERN is very, very funded by somebody.
Of course.
But who's funding them? That's another thing. Like,
I think we will always look to our flag as somebody who's funding something.
Nobody never says anything about CERN other than like if you look at the political world or anything.
Right. Yeah.
It's like CERN is like on their own
thing,
and nobody says anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's been around now, at least a decade, right?
I looked it up. It's 24 member states, which are like 24 countries, actually fund CERN,
including Dubai. I think one of the richest states,
Austria,
or richest
Belgium, Bulgaria, Czech Republic,
so
Denmark.
It's something.
Yeah, it's all like state funded or like by countries in Europe.
Because the thing is, I know that CERN sometimes does that seeding for Dubai, right, where it lets it rain.
They did like this ritual, this thing too that was it's online. You can check it out. Yeah, it was a little.
Well, was it a ritual or did somebody call it that? Or was it a process that they do something and then somebody goes, it looks like this ritual?
Well, because technically, I don't know if it was a ritual.
Oh, okay.
So let's just say they did like a celebration.
Okay.
Or parade, I would say, some type of event.
Okay. When was that?
This was, I think, a couple of years ago, or I'm not. It could have been last year.
Okay.
And you could look at it online. It's just.
What does it give you? Like when you see something like that, does it like hit you in your gut where you're like, oh, this is not right or something's wrong? Or
well, me personally, I'm like, okay, like anytime I hear somebody spending like millions of dollars on something, and then I look at the state of the world, and then I'm looking at it like, geez, that's a lot of money. That's going into
this that could be going here.
Yeah. Even buying Twitter for 45. I mean, this is just my personal.
No, I agree with you. I mean,
it's like, dude.
Well, there's also.
Come on.
There's also theories on why we're rolling back certain laws now too. Like, if you look at the Samortian, I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but those I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying
Samortian laws.
Yeah.
There I forgot who it was, but I forgot who said it, but somebody can Google this. But they want us to continue having more children because they can control us through our children, meaning they can hold something over our heads. You're not going to have people fighting in the streets necessarily if they're worried about feeding their kids at home. They don't want to go to jail. They don't want to. So the idea is to somehow keep us sedated is to have more children because you have more to worry about, more to lose. So, but that being said, we could change this around to like 1400s. If you had children, then you had more to fight for, more to kill, because back then that's also why they did what they did, right? Yeah. So I don't know.
They make a lot of more money off you if you have kids too.
That's another thing.
You really like, you can't do nothing. You can't like, okay, a person that's got children, you gotta be structured.
Right, of course.
And you don't have time to really think about what's going on in Antarctica or, that type of stuff. You got to almost provide be that secure blanket for your children. And so your world is really secluded and more controlled because if they say your child got to have these immunization shots
right.
to go to school and all of that,
right.
then you got to do it because you want.
Yeah, you want to provide them with.
Even though you may not want them to get all these shots, if you want them to go to school, you got to.
Right.
So you're under that type of umbrella, unlike somebody that doesn't have kids, they got more time on their hands.
Right.
And they could do more thinking independently, I would say. Not saying that people with kids don't think independently.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the reason why I quit my job and just started caring more about comedy, all that, is because my daughter got older. I didn't have to worry about this 9 to 5 anymore,
Exactly.
Because she's out of school now, so I don't need to have a job that's within school hours. I don't need to she has
some
a car.
people are selling all their stuff and they're living like in these
vans
RVs and vans, and some
there's a lot of people doing that now.
Some people are getting these mini containers and billing them out.
Right.
And it got it sitting up really nice, and you got it's like a studio apartment.
You're right.
And they paying it off like $20,000, and
that's it.
That's it. And they got solar panels, and so
it looks awesome. I know. I've seen some really cool ones.
They're not forming, and these people are educated. They got jobs, they're 6 figures, but they just don't want to be under that matrix of a system, Yeah. So,
I mean, that's the thing, right? There's good things and bad things, right, with it, because like a bad thing is Texas electrical grid. It's horrible because they don't have any funding from the government because they wanted to be independent and privately owned. But then winters come and the grid crashes and people die because they're getting hypothermia. Yeah. And you don't want to accept because you're not under a government umbrella. Now you can't even accept aid. Yeah. So that's where you go, oh, but at the same time, maybe it's a good sign that maybe you need to stack up and take certain precautions before you say, hey, we should do this on our own.
Yeah, you got to know, because when you talk about a governing body for like a mass amount of people, you're going to have some support.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And now we may have more kids who's taking care of them. That's the thing. And we're cutting all the funding for WIC and things like that, I think now, or something. So it's like, wait, you want this, but you won't help. So I don't understand.
But now I know Trump signed an executive order too that he's taking the funding from the school if you mandate that the students got to get vaccine. So if you mandate it, then you lose the funding for the.
This is going to be a weird.
Yeah.
This is going to be weird. So he's saying we're now actually going to allow survival of the fittest to happen, is what he's saying.
He's letting.
This is literally survival of the fittest now.
He's letting the parents decide whether they want it or
Which
not.
I understand that. I understand that, but yeah.
There's a line.
There is a line, I think, with certain. I mean, obviously there are certain. All vaccines are not going to be. Sorry, what do we call them? Are we allowed to say that?
It's fine. You already said it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry, but all of them have. If you look at the prescription inserts, they all have a risk. I mean, that's not to say that. Yeah. And some may have higher risks, right? Yeah. So I can't understand why some parents would be cautious of that. Mm-hmm. But there are some standard vaccines that I think are pretty universally, excuse me, for the most part, okay to do, like smallpox. Yeah. Measles. You know what I mean? Like tuberculosis.
Yeah.
I don't even think we had to do the tuberculosis vaccine because people were vaccinated. Like my mom was vaccinated. She has the scar from it. Mm-hmm. So I don't think
he's talking about those. I think he's talking about like the new stuff.
But I don't think that is a requirement, is it? I don't know.
Some places.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think
some
that
places
should be.
Were.
That's like the flu shot, in my opinion, because it's the variants
changes.
Yeah,
I think it's more leaning towards that stuff.
Yeah,
not the.
And here's the thing: I never took a flu shot, only because I went to nursing school and then I was a pharmaceutical rep, and I knew that each vaccine was literally a year behind, because it takes them a while to create for the new strand. Yeah. So I was like, the risk overtaking, because I have autoimmune stuff, so I don't want to overload my immune system.
And you get sick for a couple of days too, right?
You do, because what's happening is your immune system is learning how to create the antibodies to that virus. So it takes some time to build, and that you may feel sick during it because you technically are getting sick with it, just a low dose of the infection or virus or whatever it is. So I was like, I'll take my chances. I rather see if I get it organically. And I've had types of flu, I think, a couple of times, but there was one in California where I like hallucinated from like how feverish I got. I was like, oh, this is the type of flu that could, if I was living in the 1700s, this could kill me.
Yeah. Because
at least I had Dayquil. I had a friend with, fresh water. I could go shower.
Yeah.
Those guys are just like, could you imagine?
Yeah.
It's just Dust Bowl and like having the flu. No.
It's the fevers that get me.
That's what I'm saying. At least we have like Dayquil and all this stuff. Yeah. So I was fine after a few days, but I felt like the world wasn't real for a while. That's what it felt like for a while. And my friend, he ended up getting sick because he was helping me. And then both of us had that weird dystopian like feeling like this wasn't reality, even though it was. But it took months.
I went out of the out of the country for a little while, like Cape Town, and that's like South Africa.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm just
I know. Just for you stupid Americans who don't know the globe.
But I'm telling you, I was only out there a week, right? And it felt like 2 or 3 weeks.
Why though? Why did it feel
just the way the time and I had just time to do stuff and everything.
I was gonna say, is it slower paced or something?
It was like I was on a different planet.
Okay.
Like, no, I mean it was just like everything seemed organic. Like you could just walk, and it really takes you a minute to walk. Unlike if I walk here, it's like everything is like.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So it's convenient here versus theirs. You actually had to make some effort to
It's like it was like I was getting more out of my day there.
Probably.
Like it was like 72 hours compared to
right.
Like here, I feel like a 24-hour day is like an 8-hour day.
You know what it is? They're probably not as distracted as we are. You know what I mean? By other stuff as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everybody was kind of just different. Like. When they talk, they just like take their time and it's, but
their energy is
like, and then that's it, So I was just like, and the food tasted a little different.
Oh yeah, well,
and everything is a lot cheaper too.
Oh, of course.
But
I bet. Dude.
Why is that though?
It's just our dollar goes further there. I think their economy is different than ours. I don't, and I've tried to learn about other countries' economies, and I realize like. Economies suck. Like in general, like learning about any of them, it's like then you also have to learn about the horrible things happening in that country that affect it too, and like also who's being used to get for the top 1% to like get all the, you know what I mean? And it's not always a capitalist system. It's not always, so it's like there's a lot of other factors, and then there's global economy, right?
Yeah.
So that plays a part.
The Brink system, you heard about that?
The Brink system?
Yeah.
Like not the alarm
the new
system.
Currency. the new currency that's trying to that's making a competitive move against the United States dollar. That China
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they've been working on that for a while.
It's
though.
Here now, and it's.
Yeah, I think that's why the Fed was trying to come up with their own own money and stuff. But this has nothing to do with any paranormal stuff. Do you have any paranormal stories?
Paranormal stories.
Did anything happen in Cape Town? I mean,
no, but I would tell you what happened there though. What's scary is they have these like pirates.
Yeah, like Somali.
And they could take over. Like you could. It didn't happen, but they can just take over the town, and then they will have to bring in like. They'll have it for a while until the military or so they get support to come in and clear them out. So that's
so they're still living in the 1800s, 1700s.
They just have these bandits that can come and just take over for a minute. Like you can't do that here because you got the strong National Guard, you got the police department, and you could But down there,
our military loves like all of our anybody in a uniform loves being. Loves the gun show here. So
that's the downside. Like if you was to live there and then that happened, and you may be like, oh, what's going on? But paranormal. Let me see here. What do I have? Oh, okay. I got one.
I'm sure you do. Atlanta is haunted. I know that.
But this actually, okay, I have a few.
No,
but
tell
let
me.
see
Tell
which
me.
one.
No, you tell me all of them.
Okay, here we go.
You tell me all of them,
Okay.
not just one.
Okay. So like there was this my wife, right? She was like, I'm being terrorized
Okay.
when I go to sleep at night. And she was like, this shadow thing keep messing with me, you know, harassing me while I'm sleeping, and it's driving me crazy. So this was going on for like 3 days. So then I'm like, what? And then I was like, you know what? Let me sleep on your side of the bed, because it was happening at that
Just
time.
that. Okay.
Yeah. So after 3 days of her getting no sleep and just being terrified, I slept on her side of the bed. And, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking she's just like
Making it up
or yeah, because she don't watch scary movies, but I'm thinking she's just like, I don't know. So sure enough, like when I slept on her side of the bed that night, sure enough, it's this gray shadow thing that's like running. But keep in mind, I'm like in a sleep subconscious,
like a hypnagogic state,
you know,
kind
I'm
of.
in
Yeah.
a slip state, but I can still see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I see it, and so I'm like, I finna get your ass, because I guess I possess the ability where when I'm in that state, I feel I'm more powerful. Like I can create swords and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you the one been, you know, terrorizing my wife all this time. So when he was running, he ran towards me. So I when he ran into me, I grabbed him. So when I grabbed him, it was the weirdest feeling ever. But he went into my body, but I had him and I wouldn't let him go. And so then I'm like, I'm saying to myself, am I dead? Like, that's how I felt. I felt like I was in another place. I felt like I was actually.
You're exciting me right now because I have so many things to say what happened to you, but go ahead.
So I had him, and then I'm like trying to remember how to destroy this thing or how to get rid of it. So then I'm like, all right, get your sword. And then that's what I got my sword, and then I cut him and tore him up. So then after that, by like 2 or 3 minutes, I jumped up like out of my sleep.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, I got him. So then after that, I looked at her. She was still asleep. So then we went to sleep. I woke up the next day. I was like, you can sleep on your side of the bed now. He's gone. And she's like, what? I was like, I seen it and I killed it. So it was crazy.
So I don't think you killed him, but I do think you transmuted him.
Okay.
So the thing is, sometimes spirits, they get caught in a loop, and he could have been in a loop. And that's why, or was it an apartment complex or something where
it was at our house?
It was. So the thing is, he could have been running. Like there's something that he could have done.
Yeah.
And
it was weird.
Yeah. Well, you were probably in your light body and you don't realize it. So our light body, we can actually, if we wanted to get the MK Ultra and stuff, they taught remote viewers how to do it.
Uh-huh.
You could remote view, and if you sometimes see your light body, you don't want that. You want to be in your light body consciously. Like you don't want to be able to see it. You want it. So it's learning to move your consciousness into your light body, which you were doing. So do you lucid dream a lot?
I do.
Yeah.
I take blue Varian.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Blue Vervain.
Yeah.
And that makes me go in deep sleep.
Yeah. So where do you get? Well, you're gonna have to tell me. I know you always have these connections to those. Yeah,
herbs. You know, I got an herb store.
Yeah. So that's right. CJ has an herb store, so also check that out as well.
Yeah.
He knows all.
My link is in my bio on Instagram. CJ.
Yeah, he has a lot of holistic, cool stuff that is really good for you. So that's why I was like, where do you get it? Because we talk about this stuff, guys. So
I'm showing it on the screen right now.
Awesome.
So.
Thank you. And so, because we're getting Blue Lotus. So which is similar to that.
Yeah.
Which is very similar. But basically, I believe you're astral projecting when you're doing that. Like when people are lucid dreaming, it's basically a form of astral projecting, in my opinion. So you could travel, change anything, and you are more powerful because you don't feel the parameters of our physical body or this physical dimension. So that's why that's really cool though.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what you were in your past life though, because Like, no, the fact that you're aware that you have the ability in that state is already a step up than some people realize, you know? Like, they know they can do things, but they don't realize, like, you're like, nah, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And you ain't going nowhere, dog. Like, you gotta, because that is literally how I think when I go in there. It's like, no. Like, I remember I would have inception dreams with my daughter, and one time I asked for my sister to show up, and I knew I could call her in. So I called her, and she literally like popped up, and she looked around. And she goes, "Wait, where am I?" Like consciously, like was like, "Where am I?" And I've told this story before, but me and my daughter start flying because we knew we could fly in our dreams. So I was like, "Come on, let's go." And she goes, "Well, how are you doing that?" Like from the ground. I was like, "Just do it. You can do anything. We're in a dream state. We can do whatever."
Yeah.
She goes, "All right." So she starts flying. She's like, "This is cool." And then my daughter leaves my dream. So I knew that's whenever she left my dream, I knew she was waking up. So I was like, I got to go. Ariel's waking up. She goes, "What?" So she still isn't aware that, because I do believe we were having this interaction. And she's not aware. So I called her that day and said, "Hey, were you wearing this? Were you sleeping at this time?" Because that would be the only reason why I was able to pull her in that way. I don't even know how I knew I could do that. That was another weird thing, though. I just thought of now. Like, how did I know I could pull her in that moment?
It's something that
well,
you just,
The thing is, where I was in the dream, I felt like I was at Brownstones in New York. I felt like I was in New York. So I think that's why, because at the time she lived in Brooklyn. I think maybe that's why I was like, I'm just going to call my sister. She's probably nearby, like in my brain.
Wow.
So I don't it's interesting.
That is.
And that same dream, though, I met two of my spirit guides.
Now I got another one, and this is crazy.
Yes, tell me.
I saved this one. I rarely talk about this, which is crazy. So this is good because I need to tell somebody this. I don't think I ever told nobody.
All right, tell me. Tell me all about it.
So, all right. So I'm single. I'm a single guy. I live in an apartment, right? So I had a friend come over, and we smoked a couple joints, right? So after we smoked, this is when the VHS. So I had at my apartment about 5 tapes on top of the VCR. So me and him watching TV, and after we finished smoking, and out of nowhere, we're on the couch, and all the tapes just flew off the TV onto the floor. So me and him looked at each other like, "Whoa,
what was that?
That's crazy." So we talked a little bit. We was like, I guess it was wind. I don't know. I stacked them, but it was kind of almost, because they got a little weight to them.
Yeah, you have to kind of.
So I put him back. He left after a while, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to sleep. So I ended up going to sleep in my bedroom, completely dark, because I sleep in the dark, right? So I'm asleep. But something just told me, I just woke up in the middle of the night. So I think it's around like 3 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around that time. I open up my eyes, and I'm seeing this big, tall, I said it was at least like 7 foot, 8 foot, or close to the ceiling. And his skin was like this red, rosy color.
Did he have gray?
He didn't have hair. He just had these little lumps on his head, which is like these little red humps. Yellow eyes with the little dark pupil. But his arms was huge. I'm talking about like about 4 of my arms. He's muscled up, right? He's big. But where the waist was at, from the waist down, it was just like a cloud of smoke. So when I woke up, I can see him in pitch black dark. It's like a damn cartoon, vivid, but not a cartoon, just like this. I can't explain this.
No, like the reason why I said if it was gray is because maybe that's what I was saying is the smoke of it, or not the smoke, plasma, like the plasma. But yeah, but did he have any light, any kind of light behind here? Illuminated.
It could have been gray behind him.
That's what I'm saying, because if you think about it in a pitch black thing, but what I'm wondering too is if it was like some kind of I don't want to say like a demon of some sort, but
yeah, I don't know. But when I looked at him, he was looking at me, but it seemed like he was shocked
that you could see him.
Yes.
Yes.
So now keep in mind, I keep a gun on my nightstand, but in my mind, I know it's not going to do any good.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
So I didn't even, want to grab it. But so I'm thinking if I could just turn the light on, it'll go away. So I'm sliding to the side.
Keeping your eye on it?
Yeah, he's still in the room. And then I turn the light on and he's still there. So I'm just looking, and then I was like, I ran out the house, of course. I ran out and I called my mom. And I was telling her what I seen, and she was just like, "What?" Because it's like,
yeah, it's 3 in the morning. Yeah,
so I was like, "All right, I'll call you back." Then I went back in, and then it finally was gone. So then I just slept on the couch that night in there.
So, question though, did you feel anything coming off of it when you saw it? Like, did your gut tell you something in that moment?
If I was to say once I laid eyes on it, I felt like it was some type of demon.
Yeah.
That would be my first, like, he didn't look pleasant at all.
Right. But they're not always bad. It could also be a something of the land. You know? It could be something of the land that, because, trolls and things like that, those people don't realize, like, I guess once, I went down the route of, like, learning about different religions and occult stuff or whatever, is that if we've thought about it, it may exist because we also have the ability to create things with our energy. So like those trolls may exist in certain areas. That's why Ireland people still say they see fairies still.
Oh yeah.
Because we've also, not that they don't exist, because the fae exist. It's just not in our dimension. Sometimes they'll show themselves. Do you ever have an affinity to certain cultures that have like shamanism in them? Because that's like shamanistic shit you're doing. You know that.
I don't know what it was.
But you're seeing the fact that you could see him. Then you saw the other guy.
Yeah.
These are abilities. Everybody has them, but some people have them.
These are 10 years apart.
Yeah.
These two things that happen.
It's probably your guides are helping you too that you don't realize. Have you ever heard like what you would assume was an angel or something talking to you? Look out for you.
I heard that, and I know I probably have had that because I had some close calls with death that I got out of. So
you've heard a voice before tell you to do something?
Oh no. Not a voice audibly telling me to do something, but I had like what's it called, inner
like a discernment.
Discernment,
discernment to be like, oh, I need to go right, not left.
Yeah, but sometimes I don't listen to it, and I get stuck.
Yeah, they don't like that.
And I'm miserable.
Yeah.
Not listening.
Listen to your gut, guys, because it's not always your gut. It's actually something else telling you to go the other way for a reason.
My gut has been wearing me out.
Yeah, because I would say, do you meditate? Do you do all that stuff?
I used to, but I haven't been lately. I haven't been really. I've been in like a little
funk.
Yeah.
Same. It's the energy though. It's changing.
Yeah.
So that people who are aware, sometimes they have intuitive abilities, which you obviously do, and you probably just ignore them because they're not always fun like that.
Yeah.
Then that we get worn out when we're not meditating and calling back our power. I would just every night call back your power. And that just means from anywhere. It could be from the day. It could be from whenever. I would just do that. But what about aliens?
Aliens?
Yes.
Oh, man. Come on.
Marshall, I'm going to show him that video just so you know. I'm about to cue it up so we could, if you could cue it up to show him.
I know that they're aliens because, it's like, you could just look at all the stuff that's in the ocean. You could see that it's like.
Yeah, we don't know anything that's in there, really.
Yeah.
We know, what, 5% maybe?
And you could just look at some of the creatures that we, like, they look alien-like. You know what I'm saying? But,
jellyfish, like all of that, octopus, like squid, all of that is.
I think it's so much stuff that it would be almost like mind-blowing if we just could, like, I think it's just so much stuff.
Yeah, I believe there's hundreds of species of possible aliens out there. We just got a glimpse of the first closest solar system to us. They have their own sun.
Yeah.
We don't know. And also, if there's a belief in a creator, why wouldn't that creator make more?
Right.
Why would we be the only? It makes sense if it's an infinite energy that keeps expanding and growing and creating, because that is part of our energy as well. That's why I think it's important for people humans, I should say, to create something in their life, even if it's a hobby or something. I think that's why people enjoy that. I think it is because it's part of our light, that we're supposed to be doing stuff. We're
supposed to be creative
or expressing that, But I want to show you something that happened to me.
Okay.
And this is from my actual dash cam.
Really?
Yes. And this happened leaving Marshall's house for the first time. So you can see the timestamp there. So I'm on my way. I'm listening to the podcast that we just recorded. I wanted to hear the audio. Not even thinking, this is 9B or 295 North now, I guess we're calling it. So just before this overpass, I didn't notice it when it was happening. I noticed the light after, but after watching this, I've noticed it comes in. The light will come in here and will fly in, and you'll see it once we get up to here. Here it comes. It's coming. I just saw a flash of it because there's trees there, by the way. So it's going to come up through the trees.
Seriously, though.
And once it comes in, I think, maybe this is like still like one of the street lights or something, because they all have that angular. There it comes. So they all have that angular thing. So I was like, maybe it's a street light. I'm not seeing that correctly.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, keep a watch on it. So I go under the overpass. This is when I actually in real time noticed there's something different though. So that's when I was like, well, I'm at an angle. The road's curving. Maybe my perspective's off. So there it is. There's the light.
I see it.
Right, but it still looks like the same shape, right?
Yeah, it does.
Right. So, but here, what I didn't realize is the second one came in.
Yeah.
And I never noticed that till I watched this video so many times. But so now I'm like, well, that's a different color. Maybe they put LED in it.
Yeah.
But the road's still turning. By the way, second one's still coming in.
Second one's still
and didn't
coming.
even notice it till after I've watched this video so many times. And look how low it is.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Watch what happens though. I've been watching this over and over because I'm like, how come no other cars have said anything about this?
When was this taken?
1-4.
Oh, 1-4. Okay.
And so watch as it goes down, and now I realize, guy's still hovering on his buddy's still waiting for him. All these cars start to almost zoom away to me. It feels like, because look, this is like over all these cars.
Wow.
And then it goes like, it's almost like time stopped, and everybody goes like, that car like zooms off somehow. And you'll hear me when I get close to it. I go, how's it going, dude? Because I realize what I'm looking at.
There's a lot of
that is
alchemy
kind of strange for sure.
Yes. And so I said, how's it going, dude? And look how low it is, because it is only maybe, what, 50 feet, 100 feet from the light, if that.
I said car thing. You're
it was gone when I said, how's it going, dude? After I went over my car, I have my sunroof, my mirrors, gone. Nothing. Didn't hear anything. What do you think that is? What's your gut tell you? Interesting, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
So the group I'm in, I should tell you, we do those C35 or CE5 events where we specifically reach out to Palladian aliens. So I think that was just a nod to me.
Wow.
That's what I think that was, because that's usually what they look like coming in. They don't need ships like other aliens do. They can come in energy wise. So supposedly, guys, I'm not saying I'm an alien expert. These are just theories.
I get what you're saying.
But
and there's two of them.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the second one till after I watched this several times, because I was so fixated on that one that was close.
Oh.
And then I realized, oh, that one. And I've then lately we've had drones now.
Yeah.
Going back and forth over the sky. So I think we're just going to see more of them.
And where's those drums coming from?
That's us.
Oh, is that
that's
us?
military? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's definitely military. So, so that's another thing. So it's anyway.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then you got it on footage.
Yeah, and I thought
cool.
about it. I didn't even think about what's funny? I didn't even rush to take it like off my thing. I was like weirdly like just sitting with it for a while, and I did it the next morning, and then I sent it out because I think too before this you'll hear like if I don't have the audio anymore or the other video, but I was like talking to Marshall through text, like I wasn't even thinking about any of it. I was just chilling, driving.
Wow.
I just thought it was
That's
interesting.
amazing to even see it, and then you drove right under it. That's something.
Yeah, and then I was like, "How's it going, dude?" Because like
Yeah.
the energy, and the thing is, I didn't feel anything either from it.
No.
So normally I feel stuff from people. I can feel things. I didn't feel anything except excitement to see it
Yeah.
when I realized what I was looking at.
Did you see it in the review or was
No,
it,
nothing. No, once it went
once
over.
it went over?
Once it went over, and I said, "How's it going, dude?"
That's it.
Gone.
Huh.
Gone. No light. Nothing.
Wow.
And my mentor, she was like, "Why didn't you pull over?" I go, "I was going like 70 miles an hour." Like,
Oh no.
and I think my brain was just trying to like,
Process everything.
yeah. And I didn't see the second one. If I had seen the second one, because you can see in the rest of the video,
Mm-hmm.
it does kind of go with me a little bit as my car moves down 95 but then it disappears. But I wish I had kept the rest of the video because I didn't think to save because my thing does it by minute
Mm-hmm.
and then it will record over.
So what you think it was doing?
Saying hi to me.
Wow.
It letting me know that it sees me, it recognizes me. Because the thing is, that's what my group does is we practice meditation, we practice astral projection, we practice communicating to other entities outside our dimension. That means all entities, even the nasty possible ones.
So when you astral project, like, do you be still here or do you be on like other planets or something?
Oh, well, it depends what you want to do. I mean, like once you astral project, you can do whatever, really.
Do
but
you have control in it?
Yes, and also you don't at the same time. Meaning, if you go into an area you're not supposed to, there are people or entities that will tell you to leave or get you out of there nicely. Not like because there's spaces that we can move through,
Yeah.
like planes. But there's some planes we're not allowed to go into because we haven't passed. Like if we're not dead, there's certain planes we're not supposed to go into if we're still still here. Doesn't mean we can't, but we usually have to do that with permission or there's ways to do it.
So when you astral project, right? Do you like take any like thing to help you relax or anything?
No, the times I've done it,
You
no. It's just through
in your
meditation.
meditation and
Yeah, I haven't. I would be kind of nervous to kind of do it without full control.
okay.
That's what I would be concerned about. But see, I've done things before in the past when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and I would see the other things very clearly without having to meditate or do anything. But I don't think I understood that that's exactly what it was that I knew it was, but I didn't. So I didn't have as much fear of it, but I also, there's no fear now either, but there's awareness that there should be steps taken just for cautious sake. Like,
Yeah.
so my guides don't have to always protect me, so I can protect myself.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But see, now even when I try to astral project, it was easier when I was younger. So now it's a lot more work to get into that state.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it can feel chaotic. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever vibrated.
Yeah,
enough
mine's
where
be
you
a little
feel-
stressful.
Yeah, where you
Because
feel.
I be trying to do something, but I can't get it done.
Yeah, you can though. You just need to relax into it and say, just go. Because
Okay.
what it is it's our mental state.
Trying to be more in the physical.
Yeah, more logical than it needs to. It needs to just allow, and then you feel that pop. And a lot of people are like, what are they talking about? So if you guys vibrate high enough, where you meditate high enough, you will feel a vibration, and it will feel like you're shaking or somebody's rocking you, but you're not. You're not moving. Etheric body removing itself from the physical body, and you'll be able to move and do things with it once you're out. But it is better to be cautious and test things out. Like I've been trying to do more remote viewing now, and I'm having a hard time because I'm used to astral projecting, and remote viewing is similar, but it's not the same. So it's almost the same, but it's not, so astral projecting, also you could go to somebody's house. They may think they see a ghost because they're seeing your etheric body. Yeah. So that's also another thing. Some people don't even realize they could be traveling at night and just visiting people and weird shit's happening, or, and they're like, I don't understand why that. And that person was like, I had this weird dream. You're in your bed and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, actually, that did happen to me.
So I was watching these interviews, right? And what's his name? Neil deGrasse?
Neil deGrasse or Ty deGrasse? No.
Yeah, Tyson Gracie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something
Whatever.
like that. I
We
think
should
he got
know
3
better.
names.
We should know better.
Neil
Yeah.
Tyson
Neil
deGrasse.
deGrasse Tyson.
Listen, there
he
we go.
was-
Thank you, Marshall. That's
He was
right.
talking about CERN, right?
Uh-huh.
And he was saying that the portals is black holes, but he was saying that a portal is nothing but a gateway to the hell.
To hell?
Yeah, he was saying that it's not just a black hole where you just fall forever.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to go to hell.
Well, I know. I don't know.
There's vortexes and wormholes and things like that. So
I didn't know if he was.
Well, there's vortexes we walk through all the time. Just they're in the land naturally. So like that's why like certain areas people are like weird stuff happens. It's like because there's like weird. The Earth has its own stuff that it does. That's why things disappear sometimes, like the Bermuda Triangle. That's why people just it would never seen again.
Yeah, like a ship and
all kinds of weird stuff.
And it just
happens.
disappeared. That's weird, ain't it?
Well, the thing is, I think they either go through a portal, like a time loop or something.
Yeah.
We don't know. They could end up somewhere else. Who knows? We don't know.
Wow.
And that's the thing. That's the mystery of the world. Even some of the most trained mediums don't know all the answers because not everybody has the same ability to experience all of that. And I think the ones who would, they probably don't come back to the earth. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they don't do a reincarnation or they don't. I mean, because I joke around all the time. I joke with my spirit guides like, why I don't want to do this. I want to come back. And they're like, shut up, stupid.
Oh, let me ask you this. Okay. So I'm a big documentary person. So I watch a lot of different things so someone was saying that when you pass away that you see this light, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they saying if you go into the light, you're going to come back here. So they keep saying, don't go into the light. Turn your back and go the other way. What's your thoughts on that?
No, go to the light. What are we talking about?
Are they saying if you go to the light, because they saying you're going to see like your relatives or whatever, but they saying they're really not your relatives. They're people that's trying to harvest your energy. So once you get into the light, right, you're going to come right back here. So they're going to have you for another life cycle.
Oh, okay. We're talking about powering the moon stuff and like.
No, we go towards the light?
Oh, yeah, because I'm not worried about that. That's not. I'm not being harvested in that way. I don't know if anybody is actually. I don't know how much I believe that. It's not to say that you couldn't harvest people's energy. For sure you could.
Yeah.
Like that is a possible source of energy. But I don't know if that's what's actually. I don't believe that's what's actually happening.
Okay.
I do believe our relatives come back. Like my grandfather said bye to me when he died. And like where he was at looked very peaceful to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he seemed very happy and he said, I'll see you soon, kid.
Okay.
I was 17. Okay. So when he said that to me, I was like, not soon enough, dog. I got a lot of life left.
So he was very like in a peaceful state.
Yeah. He was like, hey, Toots, I got to get going. But
yeah, because everybody that I hear, like, even through like dying, they saying it's like the best feeling. You ever?
Yeah, because it's euphoric because you don't have pain, and I also think that the love we feel from Source feels euphoric to us because it's unconditional. It's something some of us have never really felt, and like I've heard my guides before a couple times when I was frightened.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the feeling they send to you, is that like unconditional love where you go, oh, I don't even care what happens now. I know I'm safe. Like it's that weird thing, like when you're a little kid and you get hugged by your parents and you're like,
that warm feeling.
Yeah, it's that warm feeling. So it's like, and the people I've spoke to that have passed, they all seemed okay to me. Like they all seemed fine and they all had a message for me. And it was for other people, but it was like things I didn't expect, like I didn't even, now I know what spaces they were in. Before I didn't have a name for where I was at. I just would talk to them. Yeah. And that's when I was lucid dreaming too. They would just show up and they'd be in the specific space that I didn't know was called, it's called the black space, but it is a peace space. Yeah. It's when you're at peace with stuff. So when they transition, they go into this space. Sometimes it's to review things. Sometimes maybe it's for them to just accept what's happened, but not in a bad way. It's just peace. Yeah. So I would see them like almost like at a bar sitting on a stool, but everything's dark around them. It's just a one spotlight, like they're on stage. Yeah. It's very interesting because I just sit there and talk to them and they tell me. I'm like, okay, I'll let them know. But in the moment I didn't realize that they're dead or like one time it happened to my friend Shelda, and her mom had passed. And she told her mom to go to me, and I didn't know that. So I was like, Sheldon, it was weird. I had a dream when I was talking to your mom, and she starts crying. I didn't know her mom passed. She never shared it.
What?
Yeah, she had just passed during Christmas.
Wow.
And she's like, and they're Haitian, so she was like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
So they're very still superstitious about stuff. So she's like, go to Vanessa. She's cool with it.
I know when my grandma passed away, right? Once I got home from the funeral, and I was like sitting out on my car, and then this little butterfly just came and was just like hovering above me.
Yes, that's her for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. She was like, "I'm okay. I'm good."
Yeah. Just don't worry about me.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
And I see that butterfly. Even when I moved from Georgia to here, I still see like from time to time.
That is usually my sign too of spirit. Like when they're around is like a nice sign, especially when they do that little hover thing where you're like, you know, this is special.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, this has been special too. We've been at it for I think over an hour and a half.
Oh,
now.
really?
Yeah,
Jeez.
dog. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you have another story or anything before to leave the listeners with before we leave. If you have anything else,
I think I pretty much
you
covered
did it,
everything.
but that's still a big thing.
Yeah.
That's still a big thing. You know, you could always join our group every Wednesday, online Zoom calls.
Okay.
She does free classes, and so people can talk. I think next week though, there may be something you may not be into because she's going to talk about rituals and stuff, but you may not be into that. But I would say though, it's maybe you'd be interested in hearing how they talk about it, only so because I understand the hesitancy from people to hear about stuff like that.
Yes.
But I think it would be good maybe if you just wanted to see, or you have questions, she'll answer any questions for people, and there's other mentors on there. So it's all free. Anyway, and metaphysicalu.com. It's my group. If you guys want to check it out, free classes, 8 p.m. Central Time. So that's 9 p.m. our time. All right. But I want to say thank you for coming, CJ. No, I really appreciate you coming. And now I'm always going to be talking metaphysical stuff with you, whether you like it or not. But thank you guys so much. Check us out, Los Rotos Podcast on Instagram and Upside Down Creative Media on Instagram. And like, share, subscribe, hate us, do it all. All right. Bye.
Yes. Fun. That was good.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're